So I would like to know, what did you do in response in history other than go to the Supreme Court and petition to have access to the men's women that were complaining and accusing of disenfranchising you? See, because in the 1960s, what black men were really doing, and it's been documented, many civil rights leaders have admitted to it, what black men were doing is chasing the white man's woman, trying to so-called stick it to him by way of going to their women, which you should have been doing is trying to get liberation for yourself. What you should have been trying to do is get that foot off your neck. But see, the foot is not on your neck, and the only time you recognize it being on your neck is when you want to get away with doing something that you think white men are getting away with doing. Because let's just be real. Whenever we hear about this war against black men, it's usually being brought up when there's a black man like R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Trey Songz going through it every Spears, when they engage in some degeneracy, and then they're getting the consequence for it. And black men think that because they perceive white men to be getting away with crime, they want to be able to get away with crimes as well. The reality is, Dr. Umar can sit here and list all the different ways that the system is disenfranchising black men and black men in a victim mode. But the reality is, what he cannot tell you is what black men did in response to it, because they did nothing. They laid down and they nested under the skirt of their non-black preferences and only to complain that whenever they commit a crime, they're not getting off like they did. Find out, Dr. Umar, what black men done.
And blah.
You know, let me come back. Gotta come back after that one. And thank you, Torian says, so we just gonna pretend Loving versus Virginia isn't a thing. Okay, Whitney Houston, exactly, Torian. Exactly. I find it interesting, all of this projection about how black men want white women so much. When, like Torian just said, Loving versus Virginia was a white man and a black woman that went up to the Supreme Court. Let's not forget that. Here's the thing. Here's my thing, Miss Cynthia G. The amount of lies and the amount of disingenuous discourse that we just heard is egregious to the 1000th degree. To sit up and say that black men's response to the oppression of the white supremacist or white survivalist system was simply to try to sleep with white women, because that's y'all, right? The divestors, right? That's y'all. Anyway, to sleep with white women and then to try to attempt to, quote unquote, get away with crimes and degeneracy, and that's all they want. See, what's really being said is you trying to say black men just wanted to be comfortable under the system of white supremacy and therefore struggled just enough to try to get to that point. That would be black women. Because how dare you sit up there and act like black men in groups and individually did not lose their life for the right for them to live and the right for you to live. You're sitting up here right now because of the death and the sacrifices of black men throughout the history of this country, to sit somewhere and act like you in judgment of something that you didn't even live. You wouldn't have survived the 50s, the 60s. You wouldn't have survived the late 1800s in the Reconstruction era. You wouldn't have survived the Jim Crow era. Just for you being able to sit here and act like you in judgment of what those men accomplished. The names we know and the names we don't know. You ought to be absolutely ashamed of yourself to share skin color and have the audacity to sit on anybody's panel and act like black men didn't do nothing You able to sit here in your home and not be worried about being dragged out by a group of white men because black men died for that. You able to walk down the street unaccosted because black men took care of that before you was born. When your grandmama was running around being a teeny bopper, that's when black men was taking care of that business. So we're not going to sit here and act like the accomplishments of black men are minimized. And not only did you minimize it, you completely dismissed it and act like there were no contributions. There were no accomplishments. Between the years of 1865 and 1921, how many black towns and black people were destroyed and deleted? Towns that the men built, the women didn't do that. So when Dr. Umar was talking about towns and communities being built on institutions and systems, that was black men.